Adana Okoro had always been the quiet, respectful girl in SS2B. Teachers praised her intelligence, classmates admired her calm nature, and her parents trusted her completely. But behind her bright eyes and neat school uniform, Adana carried a secret, one she couldn't hide for much longer. Her body was changing. Her period hadn't come for 2 months. Her breasts were sore. And every time she smelled a goosey soup, she wanted to vomit. She sat in the last seat by the window during morning assembly, trying to keep herself from fainting. Her best friend, Chioma, whispered, "Adana, you look pale. You okay?" She nodded weakly. "Just malaria." But deep inside, Adana knew this was more than malaria. 2 months ago, after her birthday, she had sneaked out to attend her classmates' party. That night, under dim lights and loud music, she had made a decision that now haunted her. She wasn't forced. She wasn't drunk. It just happened, and now it wouldn't go away. That Saturday, she went to a pharmacy far from her area. She bought a pregnancy test, shaking as she handed over the money. At home, in their outside toilet, she peed on the strip and waited. 2 lines. Clear. Bold. Positive. Adana sat on the floor, unable to cry. "Jesus," she whispered. "What have I done?" Her whole body trembled. She tried to imagine telling her mother, a strong woman known for her no-nonsense attitude. Her father, a church elder. He would probably collapse. Or disown her. She thought of running away. She thought of poison. She thought of every possible escape. But the child growing inside her didn't care about fear. At school, Adana became more withdrawn. Morning sickness made her miss morning assembly, and her uniform started tightening around her belly. Chioma noticed. One afternoon after school, Chioma cornered her behind the classroom block. "Adana," she said softly. "You're pregnant, right?" Adana looked away, ashamed. "Yes," she whispered. Chioma hugged her tightly. "You should tell someone before it gets worse." But someone else told first. That week, a junior student overheard her vomiting in the toilet and spread the news. By Friday, the whole school was buzzing. "Adana's pregnant." From who? "I heard it was Chuka from SS3. Chai, that girl Wayday always quiet-o." Even teachers started treating her differently. Her English teacher, Miss Rachel, called her aside. "You've disappointed so many people, Adana. What kind of example are you setting?" Her head dropped. No one asked if she was okay. Her mother found out through gossip. A woman from the church called her. "Sister Okoro, sorry to say, but your daughter is pregnant." That evening, when Adana returned home, her mother was standing by the door, belt in hand. Her face was dark with fury. "Adana, come here now." She didn't run. She didn't resist. The beating was not just physical, it was emotional. "After all I've done for you, is this how you pay me back? You want to disgrace me? You want to kill me before my time?" Her father came out, silent, disappointed. His voice broke when he said, "You will not bring shame into this house. You are no longer my daughter." That night, Adana slept outside on the corridor floor, tears soaking her wrapper. 2 days later, Miss Rachel visited the house. She had done her own digging and discovered the truth. Chuka, an SS3 boy, had seduced Adana, made promises of love, and then vanished. She sat with Adana's parents and said, "Punishment will not solve this. Your daughter needs help, not hatred." She turned to Adana. "You made a mistake, yes. But your life is not over." That evening, Adana was allowed back inside. Her mother didn't speak to her, but she gave her food. It was a small step, but a step. A church auntie suggested abortion, but Adana refused. "I made the mistake, but the child is innocent," she said. Her stomach grew. So did the stares, the gossip, and the shame. Some girls at school avoided her. Others whispered and laughed. But Adana walked with her head high. Chioma never left her side. She attended classes till her 8th month. The school finally asked her to stay home until delivery. On a rainy Sunday night, labor started. Her mother rushed her to the health center. She screamed through the pain, her body shaking, her heart afraid. By dawn, she heard the cry of her child, a baby girl. She named her Kizaram, meaning, God has answered me. When she held her baby, tears streamed down her face. Not from fear, not from shame, but from love. Adana didn't go back to school immediately. She stayed home to care for her child, but she studied at night with Chioma's help. Miss Rachel brought her textbooks and encouraged her to register for WAEC. Her father still didn't speak much, but he sometimes stood by the doorway watching Kizaram play. 3 years later, Adana gained admission into a polytechnic. Her child, now a bubbly toddler, waved as she left for school. She turned back, looked at her little girl, and smiled. She had fallen, yes. But she rose again, stronger, wiser, and ready to rewrite her story. It wasn't easy. 3 months after giving birth, Adana sat under the mango tree in front of their house, rocking Kizaram. Her textbooks were open on the bench beside her, but she couldn't focus. She was tired. Every time the baby cried at night, Adana was the only one who woke up. Her mother still treated her coldly. She cooked, but barely spoke. Her father refused to carry the baby, and he never called her by name anymore. He would just say, "Tell that girl to bring water, or she should sweep that place." Still, Adana kept studying. "I must pass WAEC," she whispered to her baby. "I won't let this mistake define my life." Chioma helped Adana register for WAEC and even paid half of the fee with her own pocket money. "Don't worry," Chioma smiled. "One day, you'll pay me back 10 times. Adana returned to school, wearing a plain gown and slippers, carrying her books and breast pump. She came after assembly and left before closing to feed Kizaram at home. Some students avoided her. Others mocked her quietly. But 1 or 2 came close to whisper, "You're strong, Adana. I respect you." When mock exams came, Adana sat with the rest. Her hands trembled, but her mind was sharp. One evening, after a long day, Adana reached home to meet her baby crying non-stop. Her mother had gone to church and left the baby with the neighbor. "Mummy, I left her with you." Her mother didn't reply. She entered the room and shut the door. Adana sat on the floor, feeding Kizaram, tears falling. "Why is everyone punishing me?" Her younger brother, Ibuka, came close and touched her arm. "I don't know why Mummy is like this, but I love Kizaram. She's my niece." Adana smiled through the tears. At least someone still saw her with kind eyes. Miss Rachel visited again. She brought clothes for the baby and sat with Adana under the mango tree. "I found a foundation that helps teenage mothers," she said. "They support girls like you to finish school and even learn a trade." Adana's eyes lit up. "Really? I can't believe someone still wants to help me." "You're not alone," Miss Rachel said. "God never abandons those who rise after a fall." That night, Adana looked at her baby and whispered, "Maybe we'll be okay after all." One afternoon, as Adana walked back from a tutorial center, she saw someone by the roadside. It was Chuka, the boy who got her pregnant. He was selling phone accessories and charging 50 naya for phone charging under an umbrella. He froze when he saw her. Adana stopped. Their eyes locked. Then she walked past him without saying a word. He called, "Adana, wait." She didn't. Not anymore. Rumors started again. She passed Chuka and didn't greet. "See this small girl-o." Some girls from SS3 mocked her behind her back. "She thinks she's a role model now?" But Adana kept walking tall. One day during moral instruction class, the teacher spoke about mistakes and consequences. Then he asked, "Can anyone share a real-life lesson about second chances?" Adana slowly raised her hand. "I made a mistake. I got pregnant. But I didn't abort the child. I'm raising her. I'm also writing WAEC. I want to become a social worker one day, so I can help girls like me." The class was silent. Then someone clapped. Then another. Soon the whole room applauded. That evening, her father stood by the door as she sang lullabies to her daughter. He watched quietly, arms crossed. Later that night, as she was about to sleep, he opened the door gently. "Do you need lantern for your reading?" he asked, without looking at her. Adana nodded. Yes, Daddy. Thank you. He dropped one and walked away. It wasn't forgiveness yet, but it was a start. WAEC results came out. Adana passed, 5 credits including English and biology. She screamed with joy, hugging Kizaram tightly. Mummy, I passed. Her mother smiled faintly. At least you're not useless. Her father gave her a folded 2,000 naira note. For recharge card. Adana was stunned. That was the first time he gave her money in 2 years. She smiled, heart swelling with hope. Miss Rachel called Adana. The NGO wants you to speak on their radio program. To encourage other girls. She panicked. Me? On radio? You'll do well. Just speak from your heart. At the radio station, her hands trembled. But once the mic was live, Adana spoke. My name is Adana Okoro. I had a baby at 16. But I didn't die. I didn't quit. I'm still dreaming, and I want every girl out there to know, your life can still shine. Calls came in. Mothers cried. Girls thanked her. She had become a voice of courage. With help from the foundation, Adana applied to study social work at a polytechnic. She resumed with excitement and nervousness. Her roommate was kind. Lecturers noticed her focus. She took her baby to creche daily and attended class. Balancing school and motherhood wasn't easy, but Adana was determined. Every pain I pass through will be worth it, she told herself. One day, a brown envelope came from Chuka's mother. Inside was a letter and 10,000 naira. The letter read, Adana, I'm sorry for how my son treated you. I've been sick with guilt. This is small support. I hope one day you'll forgive us. Adana didn't cry. She just folded the letter and whispered, God is fighting for me. At the market, a woman shouted at Adana, You be that girl way carry bell in school. A shawo. Adana turned calmly and said, Yes, I made a mistake. But I am not a prostitute. I'm a mother and a student. So please, respect yourself. Everyone was silent. Another woman added, She even better pass some of Una daughter's way day abort every 3 months. Adana walked away, head high. Chioma came to visit during semester break. They sat under the tree, remembering old times. You saved me, Adana told her. Chioma laughed. No, you saved yourself. I just stood beside you. Adana held her hand. Thank you for not judging me. Chioma's eyes filled with tears. You made me believe that broken girls can still become queens. One morning, Adana woke to see her mother bathing Kizaram. She watched silently from the doorway. Mummy! Her mother looked up, voice soft. I was too harsh. But I'm proud of you now. They embraced. For the first time in years, tears flowed from both eyes, not from pain, but peace. Adana graduated top of her department. Her daughter, now 4, danced around in a pink dress. Her father attended the ceremony, wearing white kaftan. When her name was called, he stood up. That's my daughter, he shouted, smiling. Adana looked into the crowd and saw love. The NGO that helped Adana offered her a job as a youth counselor. She would work with teenage girls, visiting schools and mentoring them. It was a dream come true. I want to be the voice I didn't have, she said in her speech. She started building a better life, for herself, for her daughter, and for others like her. Years passed. Adana stood in front of a classroom, now a confident young woman. A teenage girl raised her hand and said, But miss, how did you survive it all? Adana smiled. I had a baby in SS2. I was judged. I cried. I almost gave up. But I found my strength. And today, I stand before you to say, your mistake is not your end. The whole class clapped. Kizaram, now 7, waited outside, holding her bag. As they walked home, Adana whispered, We made it, my love. One afternoon, while speaking at a youth empowerment event in Enugu, Adana met Emeka, a soft-spoken program coordinator from Lagos. He had listened attentively to her speech and walked up afterward. Your story touched me, he said. You speak like someone who has healed deeply. Adana smiled. I'm still healing, but I've found peace. They exchanged contacts. Their conversation started with NGO collaborations, then turned into late-night chats, laughter, prayers, and eventually something deeper. When Emeka told her he was interested in courting her seriously, Adana panicked. I have a child, she said. And scars. I know, Emeka replied gently. But scars prove you survived. Still, Adana wasn't sure. She was used to independence. Could she trust a man again? She prayed about it. Talked with Chioma. Even asked her daughter, would you like someone else to join our little family? Kizaram giggled and said, if he buys me sweet, yes. One Sunday evening, Adana's father called her into the parlor. He looked older, but his eyes were soft. I failed you, he said. When you needed a father most, I turned my back. I'm sorry. Adana broke into tears. Daddy! He pulled her into his arms. For the first time in years, she felt like a child again. That night, she slept with peace in her chest. Emeka visited their family home in Saka. It wasn't a grand proposal. He knelt beside Adana under the same mango tree where she used to cry years ago. I don't have flashy things, he said. But I have love, patience, and faith in your journey. Will you marry me, and let Kizaram be my daughter too? Adana nodded, tears in her eyes. Yes. Yes, Emeka. Their traditional wedding was held in the village square. Some people still whispered, that's the girl who had Belle in secondary school, oh. But this time, it didn't sting. Because when Adana walked in, with her daughter beside her and her groom waiting, she was glowing with confidence. And her father stood up again, shouting, that's my daughter. They moved to Lagos. Emeka's small flat became their new beginning. Adana got a part-time job counseling girls in secondary schools, while Emeka ran a youth startup for skills training. Kizaram adjusted quickly. She called Emeka Daddy, with Tope cried in her arms. And just like that, Adana's life purpose deepened. On her 10th birthday, Kizaram wrote a school essay titled, My Hero. She wrote, My hero is my mummy. She had me when people said her life was finished. But she made me her reason to rise. She taught me that love is stronger than shame. One day, I want to be like her. Adana read it, hugged her daughter, and whispered, You saved me too. Adana was awarded Mother of the Year by a national women's organization. As she climbed the stage in a lace gown and head tie, the audience gave her a standing ovation. She told the crowd, I once thought my life was over. But now, I mentor hundreds. My pain became my purpose. And my daughter became my second chance. Tears flowed. People cheered. It was no longer her shame they remembered, but her strength. One quiet evening, Adana sat on her couch, watching Kizaram braid her doll's hair. Emeka was making dinner in the kitchen. She smiled. From a scared 16-year-old girl with a positive test strip, to a mother, a graduate, a mentor, a wife, a healer. Her journey had been hard, lonely, painful, but beautiful in the end. She whispered a silent prayer. To every girl carrying shame, may you find light. To every parent who rejected, may you find grace. And to every child born in a storm, may you grow to calm the waves. Adana didn't just survive. She rose. She shined. She won. Please, subscribe to African Tales by Hellengold for more Africa and moral stories. Like, share, and comment. Turn on your notification bell so that you won't miss any. Thanks for always watching.